Okay. Let me just check. Yeah. Perfect.
Do we need to clap?
Should we do all clap together?
No, wait. No, Jasper. Okay, whatever.
Okay, that's good.
So, hello guys. How are you doing?
Yes, very good. How are you?
Very good. I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, you're welcome for having us.
When and where did you guys first meet?
Where did we meet, Edward?
Oh, we met at Dalston Boys Club, which is
yes.
a sort of used to be a scout centre in Dalston, which has been sort of like derelict and taken over by various sort of aristocratic ne'er-do-wells that sort of live in there. There's a giant swing in the middle. I think that says a lot. But
does that answer your question?
Yes.
Next question.
Okay, next question. Okay, so you found each other there. Amazing.
Yeah.
And you were both in two different bands.
Yeah. So it was a mutual friend of ours was hosting a party.
Right.
Had some bands come, and I was in one band, Eddie was in another, and that was when we first met. And then we didn't meet each other again till 6 months after that.
no.
At another gig.
At another gig.
Yeah. Still performing separately. And then both of our bands pretty much at the same time dissolved,
Right.
and we kind of just teamed up really.
Yeah, but how did you know that you were going to sound well together? Like,
We don't really, but
you just was a leap of faith.
we'd had a few like jams with each other.
Okay.
Had we?
Yeah, you came over to mine.
I think the Amersham Arms one is quite good though, because you were hosting a night with your band Banana Apocalypse.
Banana
And
Apocalypse,
I was on my own doing an acoustic set, and
Right.
Jasper was sort of doing like fucking backflips on the roof of the Amersham Arms.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a really
Yeah.
good. I don't know where it is. There's a really good video of us like.
The first time we sort of properly interact, there is
Yeah.
actually an interview of that, and actually it's funny because that
I was interviewing Eddie.
Jasper
No way.
interviewed me.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? What prompted
We were
you?
trying to make content to promote the night that had already begun.
Right.
A bit late on
I don't know why,
promotion side.
but it was just fun, and I think actually we realised very quickly our personalities matched and we could be friends.
Okay.
Sorry, Karen.
And because the bands were no longer a thing, and that was there was one more gig after that for Banana Apocalypse at the original group,
Yeah.
but after that gig, you know, the then singer handed in his resignation, and so we Eddie and I decided to carry on doing the gigs that Banana Apocalypse had booked.
Okay.
3 gigs or something it
Yeah.
was, and then at that point we were like, oh, okay, well then this is working, but let's make a completely new thing. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just the two of you together, though.
Well, no, and Deer was drumming at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But usually it is only the two of you. I mean, Candide is
It's me and Jasper. Yeah.
exactly.
Sort of
Actually,
various sort of transient third members.
in terms of drummers, yeah. I met one of your drummers actually the other night.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which one?
He's playing for Pedestrian.
Milo.
Our current drummer.
Oh, your current drummer, okay.
Yes.
And he was playing at the Amersham when I saw you guys for the first time as well, I think.
He was, that was his first gig. Yeah.
With you?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was his
amazing.
first
So
gig.
he seems to be a good match.
Yeah, no, he's great. I mean, we can't get enough of him. You know?
Great.
I mean, literally can't get it.
Yeah, no, it's really frustrating actually.
But would you ever consider adding like another member or no? Like it's-
We want a full-time drummer, and in fact, if there's any fucking drummers out there right now that know how to rock and roll,
Yes.
it's
No.
a fully paid minimum wage, the sort of minimum wage in Antarctica, but it's there. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. If I knew how to play drums, I would. But
Exactly.
Why don't you learn?
Fucking get on it.
maybe I should learn, and maybe I can be the third member of Candide.
Yeah, you
Maybe.
can.
And this brings me to the next question, which is
Oh, lovely.
why Candide? What's the reason behind this name? What is going on?
Well, it was another guy we've been playing with, Luke Hallowell, and it was his 20th birthday, and I've sort of been nagging him to read this book Candide because he was sort of a young man.
Oh, it's a book.
Candide's a book by Voltaire, yeah, and I read it. I read it at uni and really loved it, and sort of gave it to him as a gift to read. And then we were sort of like quite sort of anguished to find a new band name, because actually, also Luke, I have to bring him into this because he's part of the story. It was sort of like, I will not perform under the name Banana Apocalypse in any circumstance.
I can understand that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry.
It was a fantastic name. But anyway.
It's quite powerful. It's sort of grown on me in retrospect, although sort of like actually being called that was pretty rough. But yeah, so we were like sort of like, oh my god, what are we going to call the name? It was going to be called like Briefcase, the Flower Press.
Yeah, we did. The three of us did our first gig as the Flower Press, and that was just because Luke was the one that booked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then we turned out that wasn't really a gig, was it? The promoter didn't even turn up.
No,
I don't think we got any money. Not that we earned any money.
We'll never do.
Unfortunately, for now, but like. Let's wait maybe another year.
Another sort of 3 months, 2 months.
3 months?
Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah.
Next week maybe.
Next week.
No, but yeah, so...
And when this interview gets published, you'll make a killing and hopefully share it with us, right?
Of course.
It's on camera now.
But we've gone for names like the Purple Circle was another purple. The smallest dogs are the loudest part.
I like that.
Purple Circle was good, but then and then sort of like... Yeah, it was sort of like, I think I actually initially had said Candide, and then Luke came back and was like, oh, yeah, Candide, that book, you know. So it was sort of the book, the gift was the impetus, and then we picked it, and the definition's quite nice because it's like enlightenment. It's like it's like sort of like it means purity and all this in one sense, but it's also sort of means like sort of purity in the sense of naivety, so it's sort of like naively going through the world with this sort of
blind
optimism.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think that's sort of any musician sort of alive at the moment must subscribe to that in some way.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, but but you two definitely look like
optimists.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to lose, you know. Like if you don't try.
True. No, true. For sure. Interesting. Did you read the book?
Yeah, no. So when Eddie
Audiobook.
Yeah, I don't actually read.
No, God.
Kanye West.
Yeah. But Eddie and Luke were like, "Oh, let's do Candide." My initial reaction was like, "No, shit name, fuck that." Yeah. And then they both said, like, no, it's a good name, trust me. And so I read the book, and then I got about halfway through it in like 2 days because it's a sick book, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now.
So you definitely liked it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge book, and I was listening to it. So
it's Audible?
Yeah, Audible. Yeah.
Audible, sponsor us, please.
Yeah. Although I found actually, I might cancel my Audible subscription because a lot of the books I've got on Audible I found are already on Spotify, and everyone's got Spotify, and I've got Spotify, so I was like, why am I paying for Audible?
That's kind of true. So sorry, Audible. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I'm never going to hear a book. Like I'd rather read it. But whatever. That's you, Jasper, and I accept that. At least you have culture. You.
Next question.
I wanted to roast you so bad, but then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Anyway.
On there, be careful.
Yeah, I might fall into the water because of them too. Anyway, right. Do you guys feel like you influence each other musically? Do you feel like, because you're definitely compatible, you're in a band together, but there must be, like, I'm sure you both have, you know, your own sense of individuality, like, musically as well. And do you feel like
well, we do, and actually it sort of it belies a slightly more important point, which is that if you get on well as people, which we did pretty much instantly and have ever since, you know, we've got our friendships only sort of grown in that way, then, you know, all that stuff sort of does come quite naturally. So although me and Jasper do, I mean, we do have different music tastes. It's not like on different planets, it's all on the same sort of thing. But we got on first, so we could sort of reconcile any musical differences through that. And actually, I think the musical differences have really added to it, because, you know, I'm a bit of a sort of like rock Luddite, like Led Zeppelin and all of that sort of thing. But Jasper's got a slight, you know, he's got a different taste to me, and those two things together make something I think quite interesting in the end. So, but like, I really must, you know, stress that point. It's more about our relationship as people that makes the band, you know, and then you can reconcile musical differences.
Of course. So, you mentioned Led Zeppelin. What about you, Jasper? Like,
I like the Jam a lot. I like Green Day, Blink-182. Fontaine's DC, big fan of Fontaine's DC. I mean, I feel like you have to be at this stage.
Yeah.
Even Oasis, like love Oasis. Basically anything that happened in the 90s and 2000s that was like pop rock, I'm pretty much all over.
Interesting.
I like punk rock more, you know. But you know, Eddie's like mad into pretty much any guitarist that was like crazy good.
Right.
Is Eddie's textbook.
Who's your favorite, Eddie?
Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Clapton, Hendrix, you know, sort of Jeff Beck, like the Yardbirds guitarists and all of that, because it's like a high point of technique. But the 90s I sort of think, like people are sort of not reappraising them, but you know, like all the people from that generation are sort of like the musical establishment, and you know, like Oasis and Reforming, whatever. So I think people have sort of I certainly have sort of looked back at all of those bands at the moment, like Oasis, not really Blur so much, but like some more
Blur from Colchester, well not far from Colchester, which we are.
Oh really?
And they went to Gosford, but
oh, did they?
They did, but like Suede and Pulp and the Manic Street Preachers and like all of those slightly sort of outsider guitar bands from the 90s, like that's like great guitar music. It was probably the last time like England really had something to say on the guitar, so I hope that changes now.
Yeah.
But so that's
you
been exactly. But that's been a sort of focal point for me anyway in the last like 12 months.
Are these like also the main influences when it comes to Candide, or do you think?
Well, it's funny, like, because those bands definitely, I think, I don't know about you, but for me, they for sure started when I first started writing songs. I would go and think about those bands and end up writing stuff, you know.
Right.
You know, whether it's conscious or subconscious doesn't really matter. But when if we're writing a song together, it's quite hard to think about other artists, because you're more focusing on what the other person's doing and then feeding off them. I mean, it's always going to bleed out. But you try not to think about it.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah. No,
and don't admit it, of course.
Of course, never. Do you guys remember when you first performed together live?
Yes, I do.
Yes?
It was at the old dispensary.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And I had a gig, and Eddie lives down the road, and this was at the beginning, basically.
Right, yeah.
And the band was gone, and I said, Eddie, like, come along. And because we'd had like a couple, like, just practiced, and not practiced, but like had a few jams just at my place before. Eddie was like, oh, well, should I play on a couple of songs? I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then he did, and you were on acoustic guitar.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember there's a video of Eddie, I think you're starting to do a guitar solo on remember Braintree Girl?
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I always remember that.
And did it feel sort of revolutionary to perform together? Did you realize that was
Well,
going
revolutionary,
to be...
but it was like, oh, this
like,
works.
Okay.
Like, and it added to the evening, added to the whole thing, and it made me have a desire to pursue it.
Did you play on your own that time?
Yeah, I was on my own.
Yeah, and
because we still had Banana Apocalypse gigs, but they couldn't make it for that.
Okay.
And actually, that's a good point, because the gig at the Amersham, like I played on my own at that one, but I was still there playing, and like I saw Jasper, like he stopped playing with his band, but he like still showed up and was just like, I'm just gonna fucking play the gig on my own.
It really fucking annoys me actually when you got bands that say like, oh. Because when we're putting on these gigs ourselves, like we contact people and say, oh no, we can't do it because like the bassist can't come. Oh. And inside I just be like, well, fuck the bassist. I'm the bassist now, so just turn up and do the gig, because what's going to go wrong? You're performing to 15 people that are all your fucking mates. Just turn up. And it used to really wind me up that people wouldn't do that. Yeah. But Eddie did do that. Okay. And I suppose that is very Candide. The whole is like, no, you just do it.
You just go for it.
Just do it.
That's Candide in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Amazing. You guys, you're about to release your first song.
First song.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Tell me about, first of all, it's called I Don't Care. What don't you care about?
Read the lyrics. I don't care if you play this on the radio.
Yeah, I read the lyrics.
Secretly we do, of course, but it's just a bit of a throwaway comment for comedic effect.
Okay. So what's the message of this song? What do you want to convey with it?
It's a lot of verbal diarrhea, really. Just just not caring, just
not caring.
but that not in a stupid way, not in
Okay.
not in a dismissive way,
Right.
but like, oh, I'll do my own stuff, I'll do my own thing, I'll make it as amazing as I can. If you don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right, amazing. I love that.
I think yeah,
I would say so. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
And how did you come up with this song initially?
Well, actually, I thought about this when we talk about it, and we say, we weren't going to talk about like direct influences for that song, but I will a bit because I think it's
Of course,
interesting.
yeah.
Because there's this band called Dada Movement who are like playing in South London all the time, and they've got a great sound, like sort of like like Dylan and Velvet Underground and all that.
Love
and I sort of was like watching them play when I was like doing it on my own, and I was sort of like I want to do that. I want to like high energy song like that. So I
Right.
sort of like.
They've got any gigs from us? I haven't seen that.
I think get the shit together, don't know. But anyway, that's all around. But yeah, so it's like sort of started off as that, and I would just have like that idea, and then Jasper would come around and be like, oh, I've got this idea, don't even have any lyrics. And the great thing about like Jasper is he like, in the sort of process of like sitting together and playing a song, he would just say something like, like, oh, what about I don't care, like just like, and I don't think you even think about it. It's just like sort of like. Just in the moment, just said it, and I was like, yeah, that's a great line to hang off. And then you've got a couple
I actually
of.
didn't want to have any other lines. It was
It was.
It was that, and we got told off.
We got told off. Yeah. So it sort of started like that, and then we rehearsed it as a band, and then all these sort of like drum and guitar interplay came in, and there's the riff, which is sort of like I sort of like tried to do a bit of like. Like bit of like Hendrix, like Inside Out sort of riffs and all this. So it's like Band of Gypsies, like Green Day, Dada Movement, maybe a bit of the Jam and a bit of nonsense, as we say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it all came quite naturally, And in fact, I sort of think like I like the song. I really do. I think it's a good like punchy like punk pop sort of song, really. But you love that.
Yeah, not pop punk. We're punk pop.
Punk pop.
Punk pop.
Exactly.
Big difference.
But the song's almost incidental. Like it's just sort of like it's a vehicle for like it's a Candide's like statement. We're here now. This is this is us, and this is what we're gonna do. Like at Olympic. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. Did you guys write it together?
Yeah. Mostly in your flat.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, lovely. How does that happen? Like how?
It's sometimes much easier
Really?
than doing it yourself because you only have to do maybe 50% of the work, which
Well,
is quite nice.
I guess that's
but,
the case.
Sometimes too many cooks spoil the broth. So like if you come together as like say there are 4 or 5 of you in a band and you're writing a song together, that could be really hard to navigate because everyone's going to pull you in a different direction.
Yeah.
With
makes
2
sense.
people, I mean, it is from that perspective, it's still twice as hard as one person because you've got to not necessarily appease, but just listen to the other person's
Right.
ideas,
Yeah.
and it can be potentially more time-consuming, but you end up doing things you wouldn't have thought of yourself, so it's always worth it.
And actually, it's also like good is never good enough either, because like you might do something like, oh well, I've done that now, that'll do, and then you come in, and you could have anguished over it. I've said that word a couple of times now, anguish. It's not get stuff
Yeah,
on
get
that,
that, get that literary degree.
Yeah, trust me. But you sort of like. You wouldn't second guess yourself, like, oh, I've done it, I've written the song, then the other person will come in and be like, oh, no, that's not good enough, and then you have to change it. So it's good, like, you sort of check each other.
A really good example of that is a new song that we're working on at the moment, Make It Happen, and I showed that to Eddie and Luke.
You're working on it.
Well, we worked on it together and finished it, but I showed it to them, was it before Christmas last year? Around Christmas last year.
Okay.
Brought it in, we jammed it out a few times, and it just kind of got put on the back burner. And then more things happen to you in life, and I revisited some of the lyrics, and I don't think the structure really changed that much.
Okay.
But Eddie had a really good idea of bringing it down, and then fast forward 8 months, I brought it back to the band, and now hopefully we'll play it on Thursday.
I love that.
For the first time.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't think I need these anymore.
Probably not. So sound-wise instead, how what kind of sound did you want to create for these lyrics, and how did you create it?
Well, I think I've already sort of said that.
Yeah.
Like the sound itself. I mean, then it sort of
Get with it.
then it sort of brings it up to when we made the decision to record. So say we we'd sort of like written that material and then rehearsed it at the end of last year. Then coming into 2024, where we are now, we then made the decision to record the songs, and then who are we going to get to record the songs? And I knew about this guy Josh Wolf because I'd seen him on the scene or whatever, and he seemed quite receptive. We were like, would you be come and see the band, would you be interested? And he liked us, and he usually does people that are sort of a couple of rungs up,
Oh wow.
but he sort of liked us, and he sort of took it upon himself to sort of help us out. So the sound, I think in the end, sort of did come from that process of recording with Josh, and we just did it in a little studio in Hackney, like it's all analog, like very much like. And that one, I don't care, like wasn't done to a click or anything. We just went in the room and did it,
Oh really?
Yeah, and like, we had to do quite a lot to it. No. I don't want to make it sound easy. It wasn't.
Fucked it up about 100 times.
Fucked it up 100 times, but it came out like
pulling teeth.
It was like
wow.
pulling.
But we got it done. We got it done.
Pulling wisdom teeth, but we got it done. So it's like Josh's input on the sound was that sort of like quite earthy, sort of quite dry. I quite like dry 70s sort of like production, and he brought that to it. So it's quite honest.
Yeah. How long
Which
did
is
it
the song
take?
is honest as well. So.
Well, I mean, the initial recording, we went in for 3 days
Okay.
to do 4 songs.
Okay.
And we did that, but unfortunately we failed in our task, and we had to go back and redo it.
It happens.
And we tried to get things like a little bit better with them. I don't know if we ever asked them to remix it. I think we just listened to it and thought like, this is not right. So we went back in just for a day. It was just a day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Went for a day and then
Redid like
tied up all the other songs. And we actually even put more lyrics into I Don't Care because
really?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
there was a bridge that it was. Well, we were saying that it's sometimes good to write together, but one of the hardest parts is agreeing on lyrics. And that song, we spent ages trying to find the lyrics for the bridge, and eventually we did in the studio on the day at 9 p.m.
Oh, wow.
and we got it done. And if we hadn't got it done, then we'd have had to pay for another day in the studio, and fuck that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow.
I don't think Josh would have even had us. The patience was very. He was very, very, very patient, but I'm not sure he would have really wanted to bother doing it again.
Oh, yeah.
But on another project, I think he'd be keen. But to do those, you can't keep trying and bang your head against the wall with the same thing.
Do you want to keep collaborating with him?
Yeah, definitely. So he's really, really good. Yeah, couldn't speak more highly.
Amazing. And how? When did you know you were satisfied with the song? When did the preparation stage sort of stop?
I don't know if you're ever satisfied.
That's the thing. That's yeah.
But you have to learn to walk away from it, and we had a very big discussion, and I even said to Eddie, I was like, I actually think we have to go back in the studio and start again, and we weighed it all up, and then you do the very quick cost-benefit analysis and what's the best use of Candide's time. Is it to re-record 4 songs that are actually pretty fucking good as far as we're concerned, but they're not perfect,
right.
Or should we focus on new things, writing new songs, getting more stuff together and actually releasing something? If you've been a band together for a year, haven't released a song, people will be like, well, what are you doing?
What the fuck have you been doing? Exactly. So it's the point was more to have a statement to put out in real terms, and also so much music now is so overproduced and so clinical.
That's true.
Yeah, we didn't want that.
We didn't want that, and we sort of not necessarily of our own free will, but we sort of did get that because the production process was so arduous and messy, but that sort of has sort of come out in the recording, which I think is good. So it's an honest sort of record of the band at the time, and you just have to learn to live with that, and then you learn your lesson, you move on to the next thing, and you do it better,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say next time.
What did you learn from this whole process?
To be ready. It sounds so stupid, but because we'd only just really started and got going. Yeah. But we were also very aware of how much time you've got, to make it as a musician before other things in your life will get in the way, and it's our dream to try, it's our dream to make that happen as soon as possible. So we thought okay, well, let's get in the studio this in this half of the year, right? And we did that, and you know, we're fine. You know, we're going to release our first song
Yeah, yeah.
in December
Yeah.
6th, December 6th on
December
a Friday.
6th.
In diary.
Yeah, Spotify pre-save and all that jazz, please.
But also a music video.
And a music video, yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Honestly, how was shooting the video instead? Actually, first, let me ask about your like visual inspiration for the music video. Like, what did you have in mind?
Honestly, actually, this one even more so. Like we mentioned, like, oh, you know, we don't want to talk about influences. The video really, that was just like, that just came from nowhere.
Oh,
that,
wow.
that really did come from nowhere. Yeah.
Is it like pure chaos?
That, yeah.
The absolute
Oh,
chaos, yeah.
wow,
Like,
okay.
But that's what we really wanted, you know. We wanted a song. You know, I don't care. I mean, it's quite dismissive, you know. So we wanted a video that was also just like ludicrous, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's everything in it. I don't want to give too much away because, of course, you know, all our fans will be waiting, you know, to hear it and see it. But you know, I mean, it goes from aliens to Romans.
Oh my god.
To
What?
crucifixions to running to gods.
I love
you
that.
know, hell. It's all in there.
I freaking love that.
And
That's
obviously
amazing.
music. you know.
Yeah.
We said it all. We said it
Yeah.
all. All the things you can say, we said in 2 minutes. So
Do you feel like
actually, the main thing I'm worried about is how the fuck are we going to follow that up? And I mean, I'm serious. Like, I
Really?
don't know how to follow that up at the moment. That was our first video, you know. So
that's amazing.
shot in one day.
In one day, yeah,
One
that
day?
was
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
And actually, we should say, you know, Jack did an amazing job.
Oh, Jack directed
He
it. That's
directed
true,
it
that's true.
and is currently editing it, just about to finish editing it. You
Lovely.
know, and he's got a great group of guys that help him out with that as well.
Where did you shoot it?
At the Cavendish Arms. Well, some of it was in Shepherd's Bush,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was in the morning, and then we went to the Cavendish Arms. And around on the streets around there, and then in the venue itself. And then the deal was with the venue was that if we can shoot there, we'll do a gig there for you.
Amazing.
And so then we did a gig, but it was fucking exhausting. Like, it took us days to recover.
I wasn't really there.
Like,
I
wait,
don't think
so
I have.
you played, I mean, obviously you played while you shot the video, but like, was the gig the same day?
Same day, yeah,
Oh.
same, you know, and it was kind of our reward to the people that had been there all day, because there were loads of people in the
Oh,
video,
okay,
loads of
okay.
people involved, loads of extras who were just our friends, really.
Yeah.
And basically we were like, well, you know, let's do a gig as well for
Mm-hmm.
you guys, and we had the station support us, and that was cool because we played with them. In Spice of Life before, so it was good to see them, and they're in the video too. And you know, like it's just a really nice feeling to have lots of people involved.
It sounds very surreal.
I don't think they realised what they were in for.
Yeah, like at the end, yeah, some of them, yeah. But you know, you got to watch the video, you'll see.
Of course. When is the video coming out?
Should we
It'll
do it
be your
before-
Christmas present.
Yeah,
It'll be your
it'll be
Christmas
before the end of the year, but
Okay.
somewhere between New Year and oh dog.
Well, that water is like neon blue.
Wow.
But see what I mean about the ice though? It's like it's not. It's actually
Yeah.
quite shallow.
Lovely.
What was the question, sorry?
When is the video coming out?
Oh, right,
You
yeah,
said- you said,
mid-December,
yeah,
mid-December.
Mid-December. Okay. Yeah, it will be a nice Christmas gift for all your fans. Amazing. How was but how
300
was
followers.
exactly? How was
309 going up daily.
playing? Yeah. How was playing in front of a camera though? Because that's
Long. It's just long because you don't do like a full. It's not like a gig, is it? You know. I mean,
No,
It's like
no.
oh, you do it and then like 20 seconds and oh wait no, change new camera. Oh wait no, new camera.
yeah. Are you
So-
playing a role though, or are you being yourself?
It would be an extreme versions of ourselves.
Okay.
But there was no characters. Well, not for Eddie and I. Characters,
Everybody else
characters for everyone
was a
else.
character. Okay. Actually, like, do you usually feel like you're being your most sort of authentic self on stage, or do you think you have like more of a stage persona? Do you feel naturally confident on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we try and do as much as we can to give the audiences, you know, I mean, they come to see a gig, you know, we don't want to sit there in the corner saying,
No, of course, but like,
it's a bit
I
dull.
wonder, like,
So we're probably more energetic and more in your face than we normally are if you just meet
okay.
us, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But we're still ourselves, you know. I don't think we really do much character work. We don't bring in characters that much.
Okay.
But maybe one day, you know.
Because some people do that to sort of like fight against stage fright, but that's Do you ever experience that? Well, not creating a character because of that, but like stage fright itself. Do you ever feel like?
Just fake it until you make it.
Oh, I like.
You know, just like pretend you're okay, and then after the first song, you are.
Yeah.
When I was younger,
You want to go back to it? What are you talking about?
Because I want the crowd to be so. I want the crowd to be so fucking massive that I fear for my life when I get on stage.
wow.
At the moment, I'm just playing to my mates.
Do you want them to cannibalize you or something?
No, I don't need that.
Oh my god. That's lovely, guys. You want the fear. For now, it's too relaxed. You want, yeah, okay. But you'll get there because you guys are amazing. That's what I think.
Thanks. Well, you're amazing too.
Thank you. What's next for Candide then? After this song, what's the next step?
Well, I mean, we got more songs recorded that we'll release.
Exactly.
You know, like I said, we recorded 4 songs, and we'll drip feed that slowly. You know, to everyone to make the most for our money.
Yeah,
makes
sense, absolutely.
Get the most out of you, the consumer. And then, yeah, hopefully by the time that's done, we'll record some new stuff and just release that again. And then, yeah, I don't know, prepare for next summer. Hopefully get on a festival or two. I
that would be
I
lovely.
think that's a realistic goal for us.
No, absolutely. And what about like your biggest goal in general, like musically, obviously?
4-side concept album about anteaters
Yeah.
that sells more fucking copies than
Wow,
all the Beatles albums combined.
ambitious! I love that. You should.
And
be.
he is, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Wow, amazing, guys.
Did you know, actually, if it was a nuclear war, it would only be the ants, the cockroaches, and the rats left. And there's this theory that, like, my friend George was telling me about this the other day. So it's like, you know,
George is a van
they would be like, you know, those would be the things that survive, like back to ground zero, like
Yeah,
year zero,
probably.
like just cockroaches, ants, and rats. And the rats, as the mammals, would evolve the fastest. So like in like 20 million years, it'll be like rat people, like rat people in bands.
Like a bunch of wormtails running around.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it'll be rat band, rat Candide, giant rat people running around.
Eddie, have you read the Metamorphosis by Kafka? You have.
Yeah,
That's what you made me think about right this second.
that's Monday morning. That's like
Literally Monday morning mood. Okay, guys, it was amazing to chat with you. I'm so excited about your song, about the freaking music video, about freaking listening to you on Thursday. It's Halloween. That's actually iconic. Like playing on Halloween, I find it incredibly iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we think so too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
going
didn't
to
play
be-
last Halloween, so it's good to play this.
You
Halloween.
didn't?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. I think it's like the most magical day of the year. So,
Yeah, sure. Well, apart from Easter, of course, when
apart from what?
Easter, when
Easter? No, why Easter?
Christ.
Christ rises from the dead. You know, that's pretty magical.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
you're not being punk pop enough
Oh, yeah,
right
sorry.
now, Jasper. If you were, you'd say Halloween, not Easter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Halloween.
Halloween. All right, goodbye, guys.